I want to break free. I want to break free.
Yes, and Karen Degen can help us break free, can't you?
I can.
All those emotional blocks that are in our world.
Yes. So I thought we'd talk about health today because you can't really be happy unless you're healthy. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of studies that show that your emotions play a gigantic part in your health. Just to share a little bit, there was a bit of research done at the Institute of Heart Math, which is a strange name for actually a very prestigious university. Institute of Heart Math, yeah. It's a European university. And what they did is they got 28 different researchers in 28 different geographic locations. So it was like a lot of different people doing the same thing. And they had, each researcher had some very pristine DNA, human DNA. Now they didn't touch it or do anything to it. All they did is felt negative emotion in the presence of this DNA. And you know what? Every single one of them, the DNA actually shrunk and turned off some genetic markers. You know, they were feeling negative emotions such as anger or resentment. I mean, how fascinating is that? They didn't even do anything, they just felt negative emotion and the DNA switched off some of the markers.
It's powerful.
It's fascinating, and it's scary as well. But even more interesting, when the researchers then switched to feeling positive emotions, such as love, gratitude, the same DNA relaxed and unwound and turned back on those markers.
Oh, that's a little bit spooky, isn't it?
Well, so you can see that your emotions play a gigantic part in your health. Actually, you probably wouldn't be surprised if I told you that cancer tumours grow faster in stressed mice than they do in unstressed mice. That probably wouldn't surprise you because we all know that stress affects our health, right?
Of course.
But would you like to take a guess, Andrea, at how much faster cancer grows in stressed mice?
50%?
Try a bit higher.
100?
Try a bit higher.
Oh no, really?
275% faster cancer grows in stressed mice than unstressed.
Worlds apart.
So, I mean, you can starting to see that there's actually a lot of science behind the fact that your emotions do really affect your health.
So, what is it that's us emotionally doing? Is it those blocks that you talk about? Is that what we're putting in place?
When we talk about blocks, we're talking about limiting beliefs, and they definitely do come into it. Your beliefs can affect your health. Dr. Bruce Lipton wrote an amazing book called The Biology of Belief, where he's actually proven that your beliefs, your perceptions of life do actually completely change your health right down to the level of your DNA. That's quite a long story which we probably haven't got time for today, but I'd encourage people to read that book. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay.
But, you know, there are a lot of doctors now saying, the CDC, you've heard of the Centres for Disease Control, they're very conservative, but even they say 85% of all illnesses have an emotional component. And then we've got people like Dr. Bruce Lipton, who says 95% of all illnesses are caused by unresolved emotional issues. Caused by.
Wow, it is, and you're right, and that's when you also hear when people are diagnosed with cancer. Some can go, nope, I'm not having a bar of it, I'm going to live, strong, mental, and then the other, they submit to it, basically.
You're right, and from what the stories I've read, like, cancer is a life-changing diagnosis, right? Those who do change their lives, including their limiting beliefs, which you and I have talked about, those who do change are the ones who go on to remission often. Those who don't, often don't. And, you know, it's funny because doctors think that they can tell who's going to, some doctors think they can tell who's going to get a serious illness in the future based on personality alone. One doctor actually got his nurses to write on the chart who they thought was going to get something serious based on personality. They did this for 20 years. At the end of the 20 years, they finished up their research. They found the nurses were right about 95% of the time. And do you know what the 3 personality traits they found were? Inability to put yourself first, inability to say no, and inability to process negative emotion, particularly anger.
Simple, isn't it? Well, simple if you actually recognise it. Okay, what is a tip before we go, Karen, for anyone that's watching that does have health problems and feel they actually fit into what you've been talking about?
Well, this is going to sound a wee bit weird, Andrea, but I would encourage people to just sit quietly and ask themselves, ask their body, okay, if this illness, if this pain, if this thing that I've got, if my body could talk to me, what would it say? What would it tell me it wants to change? Or perhaps ask yourself, if there was a purpose for me having this pain or this illness, what would that purpose be? A lot of the time it's to slow down.
Okay, yeah. And also finding a quiet place. The word I picked up in there was quiet. So not when the children are in the next room with the PlayStation or whatever. You need to find a quiet spot. Good on you. Next time, what are we covering, Karen?
I think we'll talk about health again because it's a really important issue. There's a lot more we could say about this.
Oh, of course there is. Yeah, I love it. Hey, thanks, Karen. It's always a pleasure seeing you every fortnight. Thank you for this beautiful Monday show. It's been a big one, hasn't it? Now, set free with EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques. Phone 03 332 0526. Karen has a wonderful website at setfree.co.nz. All the questions you need answering are on there.